This is Religion in the News, sponsored by Wish TV, in cooperation with the Church Federation of Greater Indianapolis.
Good morning, Indianapolis. Welcome to Religion in the News. I'm J.R. Ryder. We have a great show for you today on this Super Bowl Sunday, as our guests help us break down the Super Bowl and talks about life inside and outside of the NFL. Stay tuned. The Circle City is well known for hosting many sporting events, including the famous Indianapolis 500 race, the Brickyard 400, Big Ten Conference Championships, and the NCAA Final Four weekends. But today, Indianapolis hosts perhaps the most watched single-day sporting event in the country, Super Bowl 46. The city has been on fire all throughout this week with the events and activities of the Super Bowl Village, concerts, private parties, and even a citywide zip line, as well as the NFL experience. Football fans from all over the country, as well as many local residents, has crowded the streets of Indianapolis this week to participate and support the Super Bowl activities. The Super Bowl game takes place tonight in front of a sold-out crowd at Lucas Oil Stadium. Kickoff is at 6:30. On today's show, we'll talk to someone who knows firsthand what it's like to play in the Super Bowl. He's considered by many to be an unsung hero, an icon, if you will, spending over a decade snapping the ball to one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. When we come back, we'll talk to Indianapolis Colts center Jeff Saturday. Good morning and welcome back to Religion in the News. I'm J.R. Ryder. My guest today is a 13-year National Football League veteran. He plays center for the Indianapolis Colts, started his career here in 1999. Let's welcome number 63, center for the Indianapolis Colts, Jeff Saturday. Welcome to Religion in the News.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Wow, here we are, Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
And we get a chance to talk to one of the veterans of the game. You know, Jeff, the fact that we have the Super Bowl here in Indianapolis is like obviously a major milestone for a city. You haven't been through that. What does the Super Bowl being Indianapolis mean to the city?
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable to have, on our city and being the focus of, if not the biggest, one of the biggest sports events in the world. It's just incredible. And you know, I've watched the transformation over the past 4 years, having played in two myself and you know, been a part of that, part of the festivities, part of the game. It's an incredible moment, and I sure hope that the people who are coming here and hanging out here today and you know, even this past week, I hope everybody has enjoyed the time. I mean, it's just Absolutely. An incredible opportunity to showcase our city and get people encouraged to want to come back and come spend some more time here in Indy.
That's right. You know, the Super Bowl is not even just a game. This is an event.
Yeah.
You know, you had mentioned the week-long festivities and all that the city goes through. From a player's perspective, since you have been through this, what is that like for you guys? I mean, how exhausting? How do you just,
yeah.
you know, juggle through all that?
No, it's an absolute hurricane, man. I mean, you start literally after the championship game. You start, and right away it's, you know, the Monday following, you got to find tickets, right? I mean, you get 15 tickets. Now you're trying to think of your 15 best friends, right? Most families are bigger than 15.
That's
so
right.
You begin to go to the younger players who are single, and you begin to barter, you know, tickets.
That's
hey,
right.
man, I'll do whatever. And
wash your car.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I'll buy you dinners for the next year, however it looks. But you really try to get all that focused, and then the next week is a fairly normal week. You know, you're kind of going through normal practice because you're at your own facility. But the question is, you're the only game in town, so you know, every interviewer from the national news is going to one of two places, and so
right.
you know, for Indy and Chicago, I mean, Chicago is probably much more used to it when we played them the first Super Bowl I played. But for us, we went from having 20 people in the locker room, reporters, to 150. Wow. I mean, it's nuts. You know, they pack your place in, and so the following week, once you enter the city, it really, you know, the lights turn on. You know, the plane flight in, you get off at the airport, and you're walking down the stairs, and there's just droves of people lining, and it's media. It's nuts, you know. And you got media day on Tuesday, and Then your families come in usually on Thursday, and
wow.
you know you begin to really kind of enjoy some family time, and all this is going on while you're preparing for the game. And so, from a player's perspective, it's really hectic. It's a whirlwind. I videoed mine, and I remember Marcus Pollard, who was a tight end here, and I remember him videotaping, you know, in the years prior to us going. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna copy that. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna videotape and check things out. And I'm glad I did, because so much you forget, because it happens so fast, you know, and it's just such a speedy deal. But from a player's perspective, man, it's the pinnacle. I mean, it's what you play for.
I bet you it's, I mean, words probably can't even explain the feeling, the gratitude being there. But at the same time, I would imagine you probably have to find some kind of scapegoat. You got to get away probably just from all the hype and festivities just to focus on the game.
No, absolutely. You're very careful of guarding your football time. You know you have to set aside time for media and all the events that you're going to do.
And that's mandatory, actually,
yeah,
media day.
Exactly. The NFL requires you to participate in all the media things, because, I mean, that generates our business. And so,
absolutely.
But from your football time, you really guard it. You know, you get extra film time by yourself. You try to spend that extra time with your teammates, you know, talking through, hey, what are you looking for? What are you going? You know, how are you seeing this? And you make sure that when you are on the field, you're getting the most efficient time. And so, because your time is so limited, your body is so beat up. I mean, you think you're 24 weeks in, and you know, you're banged up. And so the body doesn't want to react like it did in week one. And so you protect yourself. But it's just, you know, it's like something that you work so hard for it, your body kind of kicks in on adrenaline, and you just try to roll through for that final week.
You know, the Indianapolis is a great host city for something like this. A lot of people who are not familiar with our city, you know, we host Final Fours all the time. We have various police and fire games. I mean, we're actually set up, our downtown is set up for events such as this. And having the Super Bowl here, though, is just probably one of the greatest, I believe, events.
No, I fully agree. I think that when you look at Indianapolis and how we, you know, this week, and how we present our city and how we shape our town when people are here, you know, people couldn't be more positive about where we live, and I love it. I mean, I think it's a place. You know, you got the Big Ten championships, you got basketball champions, you name it. We got it all here.
Got it all right.
It's time. You know, we've become a football city and a football town. You know, when I first got here, it was about the Indy 500, and then you know, the Pacers, and it's Hoosiers, it's all this kind of stuff. I feel like I was part of changing this culture of this city to a football town. And how do you know, put the cherry on top is you bring the biggest football event you can to your town, and that's what we've done, and I'm fired up to be here.
Now, I can still remember, when we can talk about the Super Bowl a little bit later, when the Colts were in it, but I still remember the big fire trucks and driving through the city and the whole downtown. I mean, it was just wall-to-wall sea of people.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, so I believe that you're correct when you say that we are a football town. The Colts has put Indianapolis on the map and to become a football town. And, Jeff, you know, you're a big part of that. Now, as far as the actual Super Bowl game itself, what goes into the actual preparation that morning? You know, you finally got through the hype of the week. Now here it is, Super Bowl day today. What goes into that preparation as a player?
Yeah, you wake up and this is it. You know, this is all you have, and you know, you got one more game left to show what you can do best. And so you wake up and you got this pit in your stomach because you're ready to go, and your body kind of is on that clock of the 1 o'clock start. Usually East Coast teams, that's usually what we do. Big games, you play at 4. Occasionally, you know, 1 or 2 games will be primetime night games, but you got to wait. You know, there's a long wait. So you get up, you do meetings in the morning, you'll have breakfast with the team, and then you just go sit and you just wait. You're just waiting it out, and you're thinking through every detail you can possibly think through, and the anxiety begins to build a little bit, and then, you know, most of the guys get together in the afternoon and they do a pregame meal, and everybody kind of sits around and talks, and you know, you try to enjoy the moment and realize, hey, you ain't coming back here. You know, you better take advantage of it while you're here, and that's what we did.
How much fun is that? We're talking to Colts center Jeff Saturday. We're going to be right back here with more from Jeff in just a moment.